injuring the smelters. Still, a great deal of it is necessarily inhaled, most injurious to health. Clearing out the furnace is the most hurtful process, the men employed working short spells and resting a day or two between. A furnace charged with ore, I am told, takes about 8 days to sublime and cool. It is difficult to obtain a correct statement of the absolute yield of the mine, proprietors, for many reasons, deeming it expedient to let the world know the extent of their riches. The export of quicksilver from San Francisco a few years back may, I think, be averaged at 1,350,000 pounds of mercury per annum, valued at $683,189. And this, together with the large amounts consumed in California, was the sole produce of the new Almaden mines. There are 14 furnaces arranged with passages 10 feet wide between them, the whole covered with a roof sufficiently high to allow a current of air to circulate freely between the furnaces, and all the open spaces are innumerable bricks, just as we see them in a backyard to harden before baking. On inquiring what these were made for, I discovered that all the fragments and dust cinnabar were pounded together, mixed with water, and made into brick. In this form, the ore can be conveniently built into the furnace, securing intervening spaces for the flames and heat to act upon. Thus, more perfect sublimation is secured, and a great saving of metal effected. There are blacksmiths and carpenter shops and a sawmill adjoining the furnaces. Until recently, all the ore was brought down from the mine, packed onto the backs of mules, a most costly system of transport as compared to the one now in use. The vegetation only suffers immediately round the chimney, and even there not to any alarming degree. The flue being of great length, carried at a moderate slope up the hill, and terminating in a very tall chimney, completely condenses all mercurial and arsenical flames. Before the flue and stack were constructed, even the mules and cattle grazing in the pastures died from the poisonous effects of mercurial vapor, and its deadly action on vegetation was like that of fabled upas tree. The workmen now, as a rule, enjoy very good health, and are admirably cared for. The village boots the Capitol Hotel, and stages run daily to San Jose and San Francisco. A spring of native soda water bubbling up the center of the village, protected and fitted like a drinking fountain, is said to work wonders as a curative agent in all maladies arising from the effects of mercury. This spring is supposed to be under the special care of Saint Somebody, a lady whose image, attired in very dirty finery, figures in niches cut in the rocks at the mine. No miner ever leaves or enters the mine without prostrating himself before the dirty effigy. March 9th. Return to San Francisco by road. Dine at San Mateo. As lovely a spot as I ever grazed on. The grass is knee-deep in the chimps of buckeye and handsome oaks sprinkling the rounded hills and banks of the clear water stream, winding its way past the village and the bay of San Francisco like a lake glistening in the distance. Reminded me of a park in the fertile Devonshire, completely shut in and sheltered from the wind that blows nearly all the summer, withering up the vegetation, exposed to its influence. Everything around and about this flavored spot grows in wild luxuriance. In the garden belonging to the roadside house, the summer flowers are in full bloom, and the vegetables of all kinds in rare abundance, such as for size and quality equal anything Covent Garden Market can show. The bay runs inland about 40 miles, and the land on its shores is particularly fertile. and employed in great measure for dairy farms and stock ranches. For the first time, I gather the poison oak, a pretty plant that climbs by rootlets like the ivy, and trails gracefully over both trees and rocks. Some persons are more seriously affected by it, especially such as are of fair complexion. If they only venture near where it grows, it produces swelling about the eyes, dizziness, and fever. The poisonous effects are most virulent when the plant is bursting into leaf. I picked, examined, and walked amidst the trees over which it twined thickly, but experienced not the slightest symptoms of inconvenience. Still, I know others that suffer from whenever they come near it. Where the poison oak thrives, there too grows a tuber known to the settlers as bouncing bet, to the botanists as the Porneria officialis, the common soapwort. This tuber is filled with a mucilaginous juice which, having the property of entangling air when mixed with stuff, makes a lather like soap. The lather is said to be an unfailing specific against the effects of the poison oak. The poison oak and its own antidote growing side by side.